Okay, so let's see here. So today we're going to be ranking Christmas characters by their battle type. So I guess let's just begin. So we have Rudolph here. So I think Rudolph should probably go under support because if you think about it, he never really did any type of attacking. He kind of just lit the way with his nose. So he's kind of he's basically just a flashlight. He can fly and all, but he can't really do much attacking. Even when he was trying to attack Bumbles, he just failed miserably. So that's why I'm absolutely putting him into support. Squidward, let's see. Squidward is tough. I think Squidward should maybe go under defense because he has so many arms and legs that he could easily um, deflect or catch snowballs, or he could he would just be very good at countering the opponent. We also saw in that one episode where he built that giant snow fort so that he could beat SpongeBob and Patrick in the snowball fight. I believe that Squidward is definitely best placed into defense, especially because of that. Bumbles is going under tank because without teeth he can't really do much attacking. However, he also can't really take too much damage either. He can fall off a cliff and not even get hurt because he bounces, obviously. So even when he falls into freezing water, he'll be fine. He'll be able to climb out and there won't be any issues. He has such thick fur that he'll just be fine. But again, since he has no teeth, he's basically harmless. We have the fake Santa Claus. So I think fake Santa Claus should go under tank as well, because the reason I'm putting him under tank is if you've ever punched a slab of ballistics gel, that's basically how his fat's going to work. So it's basically just going to vibrate and wiggle a bunch. It's not really going to get into his organs, so nothing's really gonna hurt him. Of course, if you shoot him with a gun, then he'll be dead. But he also can use apparently Christmas magic, or so the advertisers will try to tell you. But really, this fake Santa is just made up by big corporations to try to sell Christmas products. But we'll get more into that later. Frosty the Snowman, I believe, should go under... He should probably go under support, because no matter what you do to him, even if he melts, he's going to come back, but he also really can't do anything. He's cold, but since he can just melt so easily, he can't really fit into defense or tank, but he'll be able to come back a lot. Whereas a lot of these other characters, if they do die, they're just dead for the most part. But Frosty will be able to just infinitely come back. The Grinch is going to go under attack because he's just so strong. What does he have? The strength of 10 men after his heart grows, but even then he's still extremely strong to be able to lift a Christmas tree up a chimney. So I think he should go under attack for sure. He's also very quiet and stealthy, so I don't really know if that could go under defense, because defense implies more of I don't know, it doesn't really stand out as defense to me. So that's why I'm going to put him there. Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown is going to go under... I think Charlie Brown is going to go under support, because he's he'll lend a helping hand. He'll be the moral support. He's kind of like a director, I guess. He doesn't really... He can't really attack, and he can't really do defense, but he would be a good leader. Or at least as long as people listen to him, he would be. He also will give a chance to give anybody a chance, so I think that's why I put him under support. Snoopy is gonna go under defense because it seems like no matter what he does, what happens, he's very resilient. So I think he would be well put under defense. He also can He's like a pilot of a red baron. He's a red baron, so he could fly a plane and do that kind of stuff. But really, he wouldn't really go under attack, just because I don't think that he's an attack dog. He's more lazy, so that's why he's going under defense. Linus is going to go under. I'm gonna put him under attack, mainly because he's very, like, he definitely offends like the mainstream media, because they definitely, some of them will like cut out his speeches because they're so offended by it. So that's why I'm gonna put him under attack, because attack is like a synonym for offense, and people are offended by him for no real reason, because they're kind of, well, for lack of a better term, babies. Next we're gonna have Grandma from Grandma Gets Run Over. Grandma, what's the name of the movie? Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. So Grandma is going under tank just because she got run over by a reindeer and a sleigh. She should be dead, but she's not dead. So obviously she's gonna go under tank because she's just so resilient and so strong and impervious to attacks. Buddy from Elf is probably going to go under, let's see, where should he go? He should probably go under attack, just because he's so hyper and he's so good with snowball fights. He can throw so many snowballs, so that's why I'm going to put him under there. Especially he can consume a bunch of sugar and just get really energetic, and he'll definitely be most suited to attack. Now, Jingle, I'm not really sure where to put him. I'm thinking probably support, because, so if you remember, Jingle, one thing about Jingle is he has memory problems, so if you just change your clothes, he'll forget who you are, and you'll be able to get more presents from him. So he might have trouble remembering who's on his team. And another thing is he hands out presents, so like he can't really do a whole lot else. He can, like, well, he'll like give you presents to hand out to others, but like he a lot of the time doesn't even hand them out himself. So really, he can't really be put under too many categories. He's kind of almost useless, but he's also got like those antlers that could be used for attack. SpongeBob is going to go under defense. So if you remember from the episode with Flats, where Flats was going to kick his butt, and he just punches him and he punches him. He's kind of like Santa in that regard, where it doesn't really do anything. But SpongeBob also is more malleable because he's a sponge and he can just be kind of torn, if you remember the episode with the gorilla. So really, he's kind of defensive. If you like tear him in half, then you'll have two of them. He can also like regrow his parts because he's a sponge. He regenerates his limbs and various body parts. So he's a squishier than a tank, but he's also not going to really get hurt that much. And he's not, since he's so soft, he can't really be classified as attack. Now the real Santa from regular show, I'm not really sure. He can fit under attack, defense, or tank. It's hard to say. I think I'm going to put him under attack just because he's so rad. So if you remember that this Santa, this real one, this is the one that isn't tainted by big corporations and commercialism. So this one has like a bulletproof vest under his shirt, which also obscures his six-pack. And he has the hoverboard, the hover snowboard that he can fly around on. So that kind of puts him like at an advantage to the fake Santa that's down in tank. And then also, if you remember, he was shot by a gun, but because of his bulletproof vest, he was fine. So that's why he could almost go into defense. But just because of like, I just don't think he fits in there, because he seems more like he'd be able to, he'd be more on the offensive side compared to others. At least the others are more defensive than him, and plus his defense comes from his armor rather than him himself. And with his like strong muscles, his build, he just kind of fits under attack. So there's everybody in their respective places. Let me scroll up a bit. Let's see. There we go. And so now I'm going to put them in order from left to right of how powerful they are. So they're tiers where they would rank. So we're gonna start from the bottom this time. So support, none of these are very good. The support in this genre is not very effective, and it should be buffed a little bit. So I think that personally, I think Rudolph goes up. No, I think Frosty should be up front because he can just keep coming back, and I mean, he can't really, he's made of like Christmas snow, so he'll just keep returning no matter what you do to him. Whereas Rudolph, he could like shoot him and then eat him. But like Frosty, that can't really happen. I think Charlie Brown should be above Jingle because Jingle, just his memory problems might make him like get confused on what team he's on, and anything that Jingle can do, Rudolph can pretty much do better other than walking on two legs. So I think Jingle would be at the bottom. Rudolph at least has like an actual noticeable, he has like some kind of tool. His nose is actually useful for something in specific, whereas you kind of have to dig deeper into the meta, into like his frame data and whatever to get the most out of Charlie Brown. So from tank, I think that personally, so I would say Bumble should be up top because he's the strongest and he's like the biggest. But even then, his strength doesn't matter too much because he can't eat anything, he can't chew. So he's kind of, he'll be able to hurt you if he like punches you, but he doesn't think to do that because he mumbles, and apparently he's only good for his teeth and his bounciness. So he's gonna go up here just because of his size. That's his big advantage. Santa, or fake Santa rather, he has a Christmas magic, and he has like all of the, he has like Coca-Cola backing him, so he's kind of, he's decent, I guess, but really it's Grandma that should be number 2, because Santa, I mean, has he ever been run over by his own reindeer? I don't think so. At least with Grandma, she has like some proof of her powers. I don't know why my voice is cracking so much. It must be because I'm speaking heathenous talk by even mentioning fake Santa's name. So under defense, that's Squidward, Snoopy, and SpongeBob. I personally think that Squidward should go up front for sure because he has all of his legs and arms that he can throw snowballs with, and he can build such big forts. I think he's just pretty high up there in defensive powers, and really just in general, he's a high-powered character. It's kind of like imagine having like 2 weapons that you can shoot multiple in multiple directions at once, but like he can do that more, and like each one is just equally powerful. He's just so adept that he belongs in the number 1 position. And then for Snoopy and SpongeBob, it's really hard to say because SpongeBob again is he's very resilient, and he has like high health. But Snoopy also can pilot his doghouse, so it's probably likely that he would be higher because having a vehicle would just be it would give you a massive advantage and far superior to just being a sponge. And then finally we have attack. So I think personally, at the very least, I think real Santa should be pretty, well, that's not what I wanted. Real Santa should be pretty high, just right off the bat, just because of his muscles, his strong build. He's very swole. He's very crunk. I think he would be up there. And he's just very rad as well. I don't think there's any way that he's lower than Buddy or the Grinch. But I think Linus would go up top. If you remember, he was able to use his blanket as a sling, and he got that can off of the fence, I believe, with the snowball. He just has such high accuracy that I think it would be so easy to play as him. Like, or like his play would just be so consistent, whereas others might like miss their snowballs. But it seems like Linus has like a 100% accuracy. Plus, with like if there's any like snowflakes like around, they'll just be so offended. And I mean, of course, I mean the snowflakes that fall. I don't mean like. So anyway, I'm gonna go on to the next character, the Grinch. Well, Grinch and Buddy. So I think that personally, the Grinch would be higher, just because if you remember, he can like pull that whole sleigh with Christmas decorations and presents and food and everything that was like supposed to be fit for the entire Pooh village. So I think he definitely belongs there. Plus his stealthiness is really top notch, and only little Cindy Lou Who was able to hear him walking around. And since he's so deceitful and was able to, and he's quick-witted, he could come up with a lie so fast he was able to send her to bed. So I think that he definitely belongs in a higher position than Buddy, who is really only good for... He can definitely throw snowballs fast, but really, there's a lot of characters up here that can do the exact same thing. So I think that Buddy would just be the lowest here. He can definitely like withstand a lot of sugar and cavities and diabetes, but he's also just not that viable, I would say, in comparison to other characters. But anyway, that's my tier list. Thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, and subscribe, I guess? I don't know. I guess you can do that. What? Just subscribe? I don't know. You know, just if you want to. I'm not telling you to, but you should absolutely subscribe, or else I will find where you live.